Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Christine Brown has always been known as the bubbly, vibrant, and outspoken wife from Sister Wives, the one who brought humor, warmth, and lighthearted commentary to the otherwise tense and complicated family dynamics that unfolded for the world to see over the past decade. But the shocking truth now emerging behind the scenes paints a far darker picture than fans ever imagined, because Christine, the fan favorite who seemed to finally win her freedom by walking away from Kody Brown and starting a joyful new life with her husband David Woolley, has reportedly confessed to a secret Oxycodone battle that she fought in silence for years. And while TLC cameras never showed the struggle, the whispers from sources close to Christine suggest that her vibrant personality may have been masking a dangerous dependency that started innocently enough, but spiraled into something she could no longer control, leaving fans reeling with disbelief, because Christine had positioned herself as the strong one, the woman who stood up to Kody when no one else dared, the woman who rebuilt her life after heartbreak, the woman who preached empowerment, joy, and self-love, and yet, hidden underneath those bright smiles, motivational speeches, and Instagram posts about finding happiness, was allegedly a woman privately battling the emotional aftermath of a toxic marriage, years of feeling unseen and unloved, and the crushing weight of being forced into an arrangement that drained her self-worth daily, until at some point Oxycodone became her refuge, her quiet comfort in the middle of endless chaos, the pill that numbed the pain of Kody's rejection, the stress of raising children in an unbalanced family structure, and the despair of feeling stuck, with the secret only now surfacing after Christine herself admitted that her dependency grew worse after she left Flagstaff, when she was suddenly faced with the task of redefining herself outside of the sister wife label. And though she tried to mask it as stress, exhaustion, or simply needing a break, her loved ones noticed the changes. Her energy would crash, her moods would fluctuate, and she would often appear dazed or overly medicated. But instead of speaking up, many in the family reportedly stayed silent, afraid of what the truth might do to the carefully curated TLC narrative, until Christine finally confessed to the people closest to her that she had gone through a serious battle with prescription painkillers, specifically Oxycodone, admitting that the dependency had become so strong she feared she would lose everything she had rebuilt, including her marriage to David, her relationship with her kids, and her new career opportunities. And the confession has left the Brown family and Sister Wives fans completely shaken, because the wholesome, empowering Christine they adored is suddenly revealed as someone struggling in silence with demons no one saw coming. And while some fans are rallying around her, saying addiction is an illness and that her courage to confess is admirable, others are questioning just how much of Christine's new life was authentic if it was clouded by pills, fueling speculation that TLC cameras may have known more than they ever showed, because reality TV has a history of editing out the darkest struggles to maintain the image of certain stars, and with Christine now being forced to admit her past, the questions are pouring in. Was her decision to leave Kody and move to Utah fueled in part by the haze of dependency? Did her explosive fights with Kody have an undercurrent of substance struggles? Was her glowing post-divorce glow-up as natural as fans thought? Or was it also tied to her ability to hide her struggles behind curated social media posts? And most importantly, what does this confession mean for the future of the Brown family? Since Christine had become the unofficial leader of the Ex-Wives Club, the one who inspired Janelle and even Mary to reclaim their independence. But if Christine was secretly crumbling the entire time, does that shake the foundation of empowerment that the fanbase has been celebrating for years? Because the confession, while raw and human, rewrites the storyline of Christine's happily ever after, shifting it from fairy tale romance to recovery journey, and insiders now suggest that Christine has entered a new chapter of honesty. One where she admits she had to detox, seek therapy, and lean on David in ways that tested their marriage early on, but also ultimately made them stronger. And this revelation comes at a time when the Brown family is already fractured beyond recognition, with Kody and Robin clinging to what little they have left, Janelle forging a new path, and Mary cautiously testing her independence. meaning Christine's Oxycodone confession adds yet another layer of drama, pain, and human vulnerability to a family saga that has already been marked by betrayal, manipulation, religious conflict, financial disputes, and endless heartbreak. Yet perhaps the most striking part of this confession is not the scandal itself, but the way it forces fans to reevaluate everything they thought they knew about Christine, because while she always portrayed herself as strong, independent, and finally free, the reality is that freedom sometimes comes at a cost, and in her case, the cost was facing a dependency she had hidden even from herself for too long, and though Christine insists she is now sober, healthy, and committed to never relapsing, the confession leaves open-ended questions about whether TLC will address it on the show, whether the network will try to spin it into a redemption arc, or whether it will be brushed under the rug to protect Christine's fan-favorite brand and beyond the show. It forces a broader conversation about how many reality TV stars hide deep struggles behind smiling confessionals and filtered Instagram posts, because Christine's story is no longer just about leaving a bad marriage and finding love again. It's about the painful reality that even the strongest women can fall, that addiction does not discriminate, and that behind every polished image is often a battle we cannot see. And whether fans choose to see Christine as flawed or inspirational in this moment, her confession undeniably changes the sister wives narrative forever, leaving us with the haunting reality that Christine Brown's journey to happiness was not just about escaping Cody, it was about escaping herself, her pain, and the quiet grip of oxycodone. And now, as the world reacts with shock, sympathy, and judgment, one thing is certain. The Christine Brown we thought we knew is gone, replaced by a woman who has walked through fire, stumbled into addiction, confessed her truth, and emerged determined to write a new story, one where secrecy is no longer her shield and honesty, no matter how brutal, is her new foundation. The fallout from Christine Brown's oxycodone confession has sent shockwaves not just through her immediate circle but across the entire Sister Wives fandom, sparking debates on whether her years on TLC were as authentic as fans once believed. And while Christine bravely admitted she struggled with dependency, the ripple effects of that truth are only just beginning to surface, because sources claim her family members, particularly her children, were left blindsided, with some of them feeling betrayed that their mother kept such a heavy secret from them while simultaneously projecting strength to the public. And the contrast between her cheerful, empowering Instagram posts and the hidden pain pills allegedly stashed in her nightstand has created an uncomfortable paradox for fans, some of whom now question whether Christine's glow-up, her bold declarations of independence, and her whirlwind romance with David Woolley were clouded by the haze of medication, fueling speculation that her new life wasn't quite as picture-perfect as she made it seem, and whispers within the Brown family suggest that Janelle, Christine's closest ally, was the first to notice the signs of dependency, with insiders alleging that Janelle confided to a friend that Christine's sudden mood swings, unusual exhaustion, and at times checked out demeanor raised red flags. Yet Janelle, bound by loyalty, never confronted her publicly, choosing instead to quietly support Christine and hoping she would eventually come clean. But now that Christine herself has confessed, the sister wives' silence is being scrutinized. Did they all know? And if so, were they complicit in hiding the truth from fans? Or were they simply too afraid to speak up, fearing it would destroy Christine's public image as the family's heroine? And as this storm brews, TLC executives are reportedly scrambling to decide how to address the issue, since Christine has become the network's crown jewel in the wake of the other wives leaving Cody, and her new life with David has been positioned as the ultimate happily ever after that keeps viewers tuning in. But the revelation of her oxycodone battle threatens to derail that narrative, forcing the network to weigh whether to spin the confession into a storyline of triumph and recovery or to bury it under layers of silence, hoping the scandal blows over. Yet the internet is relentless, with Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, and Facebook groups dissecting every Detail of Christine's confession, comparing old clips from Sister Wives where Christine seemed unusually lethargic or emotional and speculating whether those moments were signs of her struggle, creating a timeline of her alleged dependency and fueling even more rumors that TLC edited out the darkest chapters to protect Christine's brand. And while fans are divided, some offering compassion, others casting judgment, the one person who reportedly feels vindicated by Christine's downfall is none other than Cody Brown, who has allegedly told those close to him that Christine's confession proves she was not the saint fans painted her as, with one insider claiming Cody feels Christine weaponized her victimhood against him while hiding her own flaws, and though Cody's words are dripping with bitterness, many suspect he will use Christine's confession to regain some control of the public narrative, especially since his own reputation has plummeted in recent years as the wives left him one by one. Yet even with Cody's smugness, the spotlight remains firmly on Christine, as David Woolley has reportedly stood by her side, publicly silent but privately supportive, with friends of the couple revealing that David encouraged Christine to confront her dependency head-on and seek professional help. And while the early days of their relationship were tested by her struggles, David's patience and unwavering loyalty became the foundation that kept them together, making their love story both more complicated and, to some, more authentic, because now instead of being seen as a fairy tale, it is being reframed as a story of resilience through adversity. Yet fans remain skeptical, asking whether Christine's brand as a life coach and motivational figure can survive this confession, since her credibility hinges on being authentic, and though some argue that her honesty enhances her relatability, others believe her carefully constructed image of empowerment has been irrevocably tainted. And the broader question looms: will Christine's confession lead to forgiveness and redemption, or will it mark the beginning of her fall from grace? Much like countless other reality TV stars whose darkest secrets eventually unraveled their careers, because Christine's situation is complicated by the fact that her confession doesn't just affect her, it affects her children, her husband, her ex-family, and even TLC's ratings. And while fans wait to see if Christine will address the issue on camera, speculation about the impact on Sister Wives Season 20 is growing louder, with many predicting that TLC might frame her confession as a dramatic storyline to boost viewership, potentially filming her recovery journey, therapy sessions, and heart-to-heart talks with David and her children, while others argue the network will avoid the subject entirely to preserve Christine's marketability as the fan-favorite escapee who found love and happiness. But regardless of TLC's choice, Christine's confession has already altered the narrative of the Brown family forever, because it adds a layer of human fragility that fans never saw coming, forcing them to confront the reality that the people they root for on television are not invincible heroes, but flawed humans who struggle in silence. And perhaps the most haunting part of Christine's confession is the way it recontextualizes her past. Was her laughter a mask for pain? Were her fights with Cody fueled by suppressed withdrawal symptoms? Was her fierce independence a rebellion against not just Cody, but also the grip of dependency? And if Christine's story can be rewritten in hindsight, what other secrets lie buried within the Brown family? What other struggles have been edited out to protect an image? And how much of the Sister Wives saga has been a facade carefully curated for television? Because if Christine, the most transparent of the wives, could hide a dependency this long, then perhaps fans have only ever seen a fraction of the truth, leaving them both captivated and unsettled as they wait to see what happens next in a family that continues to prove reality television is never truly real. And as Christine embraces her confession publicly, she now faces the difficult task of balancing redemption with authenticity, of proving to her fans and her loved ones that she is not defined by her darkest moments, but rather by the courage it takes to face them. And while some will never see her the same way again, others may find a new reason to admire her, because in the end, the strongest women are not those who never fall, but those who rise even after the world has seen them stumble. And Christine Brown's shocking Oxycodone confession, as scandalous as it is, may just become the very chapter that cements her legacy, not as a flawless heroine, but as a deeply human woman who dared to tell the truth when it would have been easier to keep hiding. And that truth, painful though it may be, has now changed everything forever.